Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. All it took was a little bit of a move up in XRP price, and I noticed that crypto media outlets now have a lot more positive XRP headlines than they did just a little bit ago. Remember when recently XRP got down to about 49 cents before popping back up a little over 24 hours ago to 58 cents? Yeah, well, we get stuff like this now. From the Crypto Basic. This is just one example. XRP price eyeing crucial bullish reversal. And so let's talk about a little something here. Because it's my belief that XRP euphoria is coming. And there's a little bit of an asterisk, like a little bit of a caveat there. Look, I think XRP excitement is going to come no matter what, because the market does move in tandem, and if alts are going to go, then there's going to be some sort of movement for XRP. But in terms of XRP hitting a new all-time high, I've said it many times. I'm sorry if you're tired of hearing me saying this, but there are always new people coming on board here. As long as Bitcoin hits a new all-time high, I think that the odds of XRP also hitting a new all-time high, virtual certainty, not literally, but yes. Without that, I'm kind of skeptical. But I still think the euphoria is coming, so I wanted to talk about something, and I'm very curious to hear everyone's take listening. So listen to the video, and then if you have a moment, if you'd be so kind to share your perspective in the comment section below, I'd love to hear from you. Because something that I've noticed, and I was talking about on social media platform X the other day, is that there is excitement in crypto markets right now, and I know that the sentiment in the XRP community, it's kind of been in the gutter recently. It's a little bit better over the last day or two. But there is excitement, broadly speaking, in crypto, but does this feel like a euphoric blow-off top to you? I mean, most of you have been here for at least a few years, not all of you. But if you were here in 2021, and if you were here in 2017, I'm going to guess that most of you think this doesn't feel the same as the euphoric blow-off tops during those time periods, right? I'm not crazy to say that, right? So does that mean that we're actually not even close? Well, that's what I'm talking about, because I don't pretend to know for sure, but there are some people who think that we shouldn't have gotten used to that type of activity. Maybe there's just too much of a frenzy back then. It doesn't mean it's going to repeat now, and maybe the moment we're seeing right now, maybe this is as intense as the euphoria gets. We'll see, though. I'm skeptical of that, but I could be wrong, which is why I just want to share opposing viewpoints. I'm going to share what I think, an opposing viewpoint, and you guys can tell me what you think. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, here's an interesting chart. This comes from chart analyst Ali Martinez, and this shows the number of new Bitcoin addresses. Bitcoin leads the market, and even if you don't care about Bitcoin, or even if you don't hold Bitcoin, you should still be interested in this. Here's what Ali had to say. As the price of Bitcoin increases, there's a noticeable decline in the creation of new Bitcoin addresses daily. This trend points towards a lack of retail participation in the current Bitcoin bull rally, suggesting that the recent price action is primarily fueled by institutional demand. Well, that's something. So, if indeed it's the case that this is more or less the peak in terms of euphoria, why aren't the retailers here? Why aren't there a whole bunch of new retailers? They're not coming, they're not going to come, they're not present, but the institutions drove this? Isn't that kind of interesting? I think so. I also looked at this, and I've shared these charts before, but I just went to Google Trends and searched Bitcoin over the last 5 years, a worldwide search, and you can see, like, if you look here, I mean, this is May of 2021, that's the peak over the last 5 years. That's when Bitcoin was hitting a new all-time high. And not surprising, there was, oh my God, the laser eyes, the diamond hands. You listening to this, I'm sure you are not surprised to see that that was the peak over the last 5 years. Because it's 2024 now, right? So it's not including the market cycle before that. But what's going on now then? Because we did see, and this part's actually not surprising, you saw a little bit of a bump up January 17th or 13th for that week of this year. There was a little bit of a bump up, but what was happening then? A narrative drove that search right there. The Bitcoin ETF stuff, that's actually not surprising, but that's not that big of a bump, all things considered. That's it. That little thing right there, that's it. That's the most excitement we get. And then after that, Bitcoin dropped to the upper 30,000s in terms of price action because it was a sell the news event ultimately. And now that Bitcoin has hit $52,000, like almost nothing. Look at this. February 11th through 17th. Almost nothing. Isn't that peculiar? And so I shared this post last night. I wrote the following: there is excitement in crypto, but it doesn't seem like blow off top euphoria. Google searches are barely up for Bitcoin and crypto. No celebrities pumping S-word coins. I'm censoring myself there. No crypto Super Bowl ads. No laser eyes. No calls from family members or friends asking about crypto. We've only had 2 days of extreme greed on the Crypto Fear and Greed Index since the market started heading up over a year ago. So, if this really is the cycle top, all of those facts I just cited are very weird. And so, of course, I'll note this is, I don't mean this in absolutes. Maybe some of you listening out there, you did get a call from a family member or a friend. Okay, I get that. But if you were here during the euphoria of the last cycle, there were tons of people talking about how family members and friends were calling and this and that. I've seen almost none of that. And the laser eyes, there's almost none. And so somebody pointed out here that even Joe Biden had laser eyes here. Okay, whatever. I'm not speaking literally in absolutes just by saying the word no. I'm just pointing out that it doesn't even almost feel the same. It doesn't look the same to me. And there's evidence, as Ali Martinez pointed out, that, as far as the reason Bitcoin's going up, it's not really retailers. He's arguing that there's a good chance it's actually on the institutional side, which would track with the fact that, again, the Google searches for Bitcoin, they're barely up at all. Isn't that weird at a minimum? Is this the new normal? Is that there's not that much excitement and this is truly the blow off top euphoria? Well, some people do think that's probable. And so I'm less convinced of that, while acknowledging I absolutely could be wrong. But I like civil discourse here, and I like sharing ideas, even if they're different than my own. I'm not afraid to share ideas that are different than mine. I'm not afraid of being wrong, because I'm just trying to, spur conversation, have fun with this, get the conversation, all that. And so I want to share with you perspective from TXMC, and he wasn't talking to me, but he happened to be talking about this, so I thought I'd highlight this in the video. He shared this post this morning. And it looks to me like he feels a bit differently than me. He thinks that, no, this still could be the actual euphoria. It just looks different than what we saw last market cycle, but that doesn't mean that this is as good as it gets in terms of the euphoria. And so I thought that this was the best argument against what my suspicion is, because I'll say this. Look, I don't know for sure if the market's topping right now. I'm just saying, if it's topping now, if it actually is, then this is weird. I stand by that. This is weird that we didn't see more euphoria with retail, so on and so forth. There was a little bit with the ETF. Even that wasn't that crazy. And then that's it. I mean, okay, if that happens. But here's what TXMC had to say. And he's formerly with Glassnode, on-chain analytics firm, huge fan of Glassnode. And TXMC, he's one of those guys that he's a logic, data, reason type of guy. That resonates with me. Obviously a super smart guy. And so I appreciate his perspective, and maybe time will pass and we'll see that what seems to be a suspicion actually is correct, and what seems to be my suspicion is actually wrong. And that could happen. And if so, that's fine. But that's why I was saying at the start of the video, like, I want to know what you guys think. Like, you guys tell me what your conviction is. I'm telling you where I'm leaning. I'm just thinking that it's weird if this is it, So here's what TXMC wrote. I think the unbridled mania of 2021 warped a lot of investors' perceptions of what bullish sentiment looks like. That year was the absolute peak of mania. Not just cap-weighted indexes, but bonds of all kinds. Meme stocks, SPACs, and ARK. All of crypto, NFTs, luxury goods, collectibles, art. It was rabid. That was more than a bull market. That was a frenzy. I think a lot of people are waiting to see that happen again, to say, yeah, okay, we're back. But a frothing, toppy kind of behavior is already staring them in the face right now. And so look, I think that's a good argument in that direction. And not that I am saying all of those things would have to occur for me to be like, yeah, we got euphoria. But what about the things that are easy to track? Like, I mean, look, what Ali Martinez highlighted. It's kind of weird that, I mean, again, I'll pull up the chart one more time here if you want to look at it. Number of new Bitcoin addresses being created, it's on a downtrend while price goes up. That's peculiar, isn't it? And then, again, you look at this. Again, Bitcoin Google searches. Where are they? That is not normal for Euphoria. That it just isn't. So the rest of the stuff that he cited there, the confluence of all of those things, sure, that's fine. I'm not arguing against that. I mean, those things happen. I'm not saying that all of those things would be necessary for Euphoria. But even if you hop on social media, like, yeah, there's a lot of excitement. And I'd say deservedly so. Like, this has been a really fun time, especially the last roughly half year. It's been ever since really October, actually, I guess. Market's been moving up. It's been a lot of fun to see that happen. But again, to me, it doesn't have the same feel, even on social media. I like the excitement, broadly speaking, but eh. So I guess you guys are just gonna have to tell me what you think here. But if this thing's gonna go, like, the XRP Euphoria is coming. Like I said at the outset of the video, I still firmly believe that. So, don't miss your chance for XRP life-changing wealth, because that rally, when it comes, which I believe it will at some point, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but when that happens, either you have exposure to XRP or you don't. And sentiment is low within the XRP community, for many anyway. I've been talking about that a fair bit in videos recently, so I won't rehash that stuff, but in crypto, broadly speaking, it's not. It's positive. And I think, XRP is still going to have its day in the sun. So my guess would be, I mean, as long as we're going to see a new all-time high for Bitcoin, I think that will show that this is not the moment in time where there's the most excitement, right? Obviously. But if you think that this is the top of the market for this cycle, then I could see why somebody would want to argue in this direction, or think that it's more probable that this actually is it. Look, I'm just not sold on it. I could be wrong. But you guys tell me what you think. I'll wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.